you know how you be on the gram and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I've seen like a couple highlights
And stuff, yeah.
like that, and between both of them, and it was like from the looks of it, it was like it was a good fight. You know, people be weird. People be thinking like I'm probably hating because I said I ain't watch it. I didn't watch it. I work out.
You're in training camp.
Yeah,
You're in training camp.
And besides that, I really don't even watch boxing. Like,
you don't?
Okay, I'll put it like this. To say that you didn't see the fight, you fell asleep, whatever, you know, that's one thing. But then to turn around and still try to say that you didn't watch the fight after that is just not true. Especially after the way that you trailer hits your name to Terrence Crawford. It doesn't make no sense. After all of what you have done and after all of what you said to compare yourself to Terrence Crawford, why would you not be interested in how Terrence Crawford is going to do against Canelo Alvarez? To add on top of that, he wasn't volunteering himself any other time. So it's just disingenuous. And what is this interview even about at the end of the day? I mean, he basically did an interview about being a hater because that's what everybody see it as. Point blank and period. Ain't nothing else to add to it. You know? And he doesn't really venture out too much doing media anyway. But it always come down to he have to defend some type of position he in that make him look like a square. Every single time. It just doesn't make no sense. And then to keep up this front, but your daddy seen the fight and your daddy watched the fight, and this is where it gets interesting. So you mean to tell me, even if you ain't see the fight that night, even if you ain't watched the fight afterwards, you ain't talk about the fight with your father? Because that's also what you have to be saying. And it's no secret what, you know, his dad be saying.
Well, he won most every round. If you want to give him 2 rounds, you give Canelo 2 rounds. Other than that, Terrence was great, man. I told everybody they told me he can't beat him. I said, yes, he can.
So if his dad giving up props to Terrence Crawford, so at the end of the day, it kind of sound like he mad that Terrence Crawford sound like to be one of his father's favorite fighters, and he's giving him his props. So once again, him and his father is on 2 different pages about the subjects of boxing and what's going on, and then opinion. And nobody has to have anybody as they go to nothing like that, but it's just a recognition of what he has done in a fight that big, and then Crawford doing something that hasn't been done before, just to say that you didn't tune in because you say that you don't watch boxing, but at the same time, you holding your meet and greet on the same day as Crawford's parade. You always comparing yourself to Crawford. You keep this narrative up, you and Eddie, about Terrence Crawford ducking you, and how Terrence Crawford, you and Terrence Crawford, at least your promoter is saying you and Terrence Crawford is the biggest fight in boxing. Yet at the same time, you saying that you ain't watching no fights that he's on. And then on top of that, you know, it's not the first time you have said that when Terrence Crawford passed you up and asked you about you saying that you wasn't going to watch the fight and you had nothing to say then. I mean, it's just all this shit is just a joke at the end of the day, man. That's all it is. One big giant joke. And he playing it on himself. Because at the end of the day, no matter what he say, with all that shit that he said, I mean, like I said in the beginning, he getting the attention he want, because now we got to see super boots. We've been seeing 30% boots according to Boots. You feel me? We've been seeing 30% according to Boots. Now it's time to see 100% Boots. So we supposed to see something super spectacular. I'm talking about dynamite dominant type shit with Boots now. You know, keep putting his foot in his mouth. But no, just do an interview about you being ahead of, you know what your image is out here, man. You know exactly what your image is out here. And you can't hide it. Everybody see what you're doing. Everybody see the email belts and all this other shit. The vibe you putting out. And like I said before, to even accuse Terrence Crawford of even ducking somebody like him after the array of fighters he has already ducked. just make somebody look incompetent, stupid, or just pushing a narrative to even say that Terrence Bud Crawford avoided or didn't want to fight Jaron Boots Ennis, especially given the fact that he hasn't done anything of no significance to add on top of that. So he can say what he wants, but it's just haterade at the end of the day. And you better hope you can live up to all that haterade that you spraying, because the same type of shit you putting out, that criticism, that's the same type of lens that you're gonna come up under. It's the same type of lens he's already been up under. And this is the thing, he ain't do nothing but put himself in a trick bag, because since he's been 30% Jaron and now we got to see 100% Jaron, he now put that same pressure on him that was in the Kukashan fight, you know what I'm saying, the first one and the second one, you know what I'm saying. And you know how he say, his father say he underperformed for that because blase, splee, whatever, and whatnot, you know what I'm saying. Now that same type of pressure in those fights is going to be present in this one. You know what I'm saying? He's going to have to press it, and trying to press it, he might look bad, because that's what he was doing in those last fights. He was trying to press it and not stick to the game plan and not listen to his pops and trying to be impressive and do something, and he couldn't do it. Well, that same pressure is right back here again, and that's that bullshit politics game that he liked to play. But he put himself in a trick bag, and now the pressure's there. So we need to see super boots. At the end of the day, that's all we need to be seeing is super boots. And after we supposedly see this super boots need to call some real competition out. And that's the real reason why you need to watch the fight, to see what he gonna say at the end. That's the real interest. That's the whole part of Jaron fighting this dude right here that nobody's interested in, and even his daddy didn't know the name of.
Much stronger. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be a devastating performance with him and whatever Lima. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like, I think by the time they came on, it was like probably like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1 and 6.
I trained.